Douglas County Community Access Television presents The Regional Report, issues of interest in a complex world, with regional reporter Steve Tashara. And now, with today's program, here's Steve Tashara.
Welcome back to our studios here in Zephyr Cove, Nevada at Lake Tahoe. We're here for another edition of The Regional Report on Douglas County Community Access Television. We have two guests today. One is Michael Ward. Michael, welcome back.
Thank you, Steve.
Michael's been on the program before, as many of you regular viewers know. Michael is a facilitator par excellence and involved in many projects throughout the country, often the world. High Bar Global is his company, and we're fortunate that Michael lives right here in South Lake Tahoe and brings his expertise to many partnership building efforts, and he has been involved in one at Lake Tahoe Community College. And we have a second guest, and I'm very pleased to welcome Frank Gerdeman. Frank is a recent arrival to Tahoe, and tell a little about his story here in a minute. But Frank is what's called the Director of Adult Education at Lake Tahoe Community College. But adult education is really evolving in the 21st century, particularly here in California and our California-Nevada territory where we operate and where Lake Tahoe Community College operates. So I want to turn first to Frank, since you are a new guest, and what recently brought you to Lake Tahoe?
Well, thanks, Steve. It really was the opportunity to be a part of this very exciting project. And Michael, in a minute, is going to tell a little bit about the history and the repositioning of the college and sort of the redefining of adult education here in the Basin. There aren't very many opportunities in this field to really build a program, to build a community network from scratch. And because of some very significant investment by the state of California, this community and others have that opportunity. The willingness of the partners, both agencies in the state and local government and our industry partners as well, means that there's significant buy-in in the community. And so to come in and be a part of that was very, very exciting for me. The fact that it's not a terribly unscenic place to live didn't hurt either. But really it was the opportunity to be a part of this project from really as close to the beginning as possible that brought me here.
Vermont is fairly scenic.
Vermont is very scenic. The winters are much colder.
Okay.
Much colder. So winter without the brutal cold, that was another deciding factor.
Another enticement. Very
Absolutely.
Good. Well, it's great to have you in the community and as part of this program. So Michael, as Frank indicated, there's a lot of repositioning going on in education, particularly in this part of the world.
Right.
And so this actually, Frank's here now and the program's up and running, but there's some history to how all this came to be.
Sure. We're very fortunate to have attracted Frank. He's the former statewide director for adult education in the state of Vermont. We've also been able to attract the former statewide director for adult ed and workforce development from the state of Nevada, right. Brad Deeds, to work with us. The college, this college is literally just participating in a larger system of change and reform. So the state of California legislature appropriated $500 million in 2 years ago to fund the development of regional plans for taking this existing system of adult schools, adult education, and workforce development, and integrate them more completely, and develop more collaborative models for sharing resources so that we could expand access to learning, access to adult learning, and access to career pathways for individuals and communities throughout California. So Lake Tahoe Community College, with the college itself, with the school district and our community partners, our County Office of Education, collaborated together to develop a comprehensive plan. We're able to attract a large cross-section of community partners, our human and social service organizations, community agencies that serve adults at kind of all ages and stages of their life, and think about how we could make it possible for people to live more completely here in Lake Tahoe through enhanced civic participation, literally right down to the ability to participate in our electoral and voting process, which we just completed, reading complex documents.
The ballots are certainly that, aren't they?
Oh my God. And then more directly, how to participate economically by accessing jobs that were not dead-end jobs, low-paying jobs, that were tied to the resort-based economy would give people an opportunity to grow and expand, be able to live here. And I think for those of us who are passionate about leading this, really about the ability to attract individuals who want to raise families, because when we're creating a virtuous cycle in the economy, we get young people raising families. They put children in our schools. That keeps the schools vital. That attracts pediatricians. It maintains our health system, and we end up with a complete kind of virtuous cycle driving community development. So that's been our opportunity. Our challenge was how to take a statewide investment in adult learning and development and make it as progressive as possible and as customized as possible for our community. So we can say a little bit more about that.
Yeah, and I know I've seen a couple of presentations and have actually attended some of the consortium meetings where everybody's around the table. And you said that one opportunity here was that we weren't replacing anything. So we didn't have to eliminate something. We basically could just create. And I've been very impressed, Frank and Michael, with the number of people around the table who are really part of making this happen. And I liked your idea of, whatever door you come through, we want you to get to where you need to go for your personal, educational and life skills development.
Well, and I think, Steve, one of the things that's really important in that observation is the structure that was built into the system to not only originally get, but to maintain that community involvement on a larger method. So you mentioned both the consortium meetings, which is the larger network coming together once a month, but there are also those smaller work groups.
Right.
One, which is primarily our industry partners and the college and Advance. We're replacing adult education with the word Advance,
right.
in part because we got tired of acronyms, but also because the group felt it really described the work we're doing. So the structure of work groups, both with our industry partners and with our community agencies and educational partners in terms of transition and assessment, have been really critical, I think, to that vibrancy of the work. And you're right, the fact that we didn't have to unlearn any previous behaviors, that we didn't have turf wars over existing structures, really, I think, has allowed us to accelerate the process.
And then you both went down to a statewide conference recently in Sacramento and
Yes.
kind of describe sort of how now that the state of California has made this investment, how are these things, these consortiums or these changes happening at the local level? How is that all stacking up at the statewide level?
So it sort of built on Frank's last comments. The state, of course, has an appropriation of a large amount of money to support 70 of these consortia around the state. And the legislature wants to see the money well spent, so they want to see numbers of people that have completed learning programs and all the usual things you expect with higher education. But this is a partnership between the community college system and our K-12 system, our California Department of Ed. So it's an integrated K-14 model. So the challenge is how to take an old system of adult learning, which was really founded on the idea of remediation and correcting kind of social ills, I like to say, where individuals maybe didn't participate well in high school, didn't complete a high school diploma, maybe were just not a good student, and their inability to go through that process efficiently has hindered their ability to participate fully economically in the community. The community college, Lake Tahoe Community College, has historically addressed those needs by simply offering courses leading to 2-year degrees and then transfer to 4-year programs, typically outside of the Lake Tahoe Basin.
Right.
This kind of initiative repositions our community college to be a different type of community partner where individuals can actually earn credentials and earn digital badges and so on, skill building equivalents that enables them to stay in the community without just the fixed assumption that they'll transfer somewhere else. So you asked about at the state level. The state's looking to invest in collaboration. They want to see more efficiency between the community college system and the K-12 system of education so that people earn, learn, and grow, our motto, more quickly, more efficiently, and so on. In our community, the challenge is to sort of earn, learn, grow, and stay, because we're dependent on talent for our communities to thrive. So this is causing Lake Tahoe Community College to adapt its approach to serving adults, early, mid, and late career adults, and offer a little more targeted, more focused, more guided pathway support. And this has enabled us, I think Frank's and my experience has been, we're able to be a little more agile because we're smaller,
Right.
a little more innovative because we don't have an old system we're trying to remodel, if you will. And we can build it from scratch, and because we've been able to attract talent like Frank and Brad and others that really bring kind of state-of-the-art mindset. So I think that's where we are today.
One of the things I spend a lot of my time doing is, as you know, have you found out quickly, Frank, is transportation. And in the world of social service transportation, there's a little bit of money for that agency and a little bit of money for this agency, and there's not really this collaborative, because the funding sources don't drive that. It seems like in this case, California is specifically driving that collaboration, and so now, as opposed to all these individual programs that could only serve a certain population or a certain income level, it's all coming together so that there's this holistic program, so somebody could look, and as you've said, no matter what door you go in, whether it's a social service agency or if it's in Alpine County or part of Douglas County or El Dorado County, the city, you can find where you need to go. And that makes it a lot easier for the client or the customer or the person who's interested. And I find that to be just so refreshing. I wish we could bring that to the world of social service transportation, but you guys are making an excellent start. And it seems like that is part of the excitement that keeps everybody at the table from a month-to-month basis.
Absolutely, and I like that you've picked up the no wrong door. That no matter what door you come in, that's a very critical aspect of our work. We've recently added this idea of no wrong door, no slammed door as well. So, it's great that regardless of how you find yourself connected to these services, and I would add that can include employers as well. Really, I can't overstress both my excitement and the importance of the partnerships that we're building with industry and how critical they've been in this work to date and continue to be. So in addition to no wrong door, it's when we connect you to an additional service or additional services, we don't want them to slam the door on you. So we want to make sure that we're connecting the right folks with the right services, programs, and opportunities at the right time. And I think that's another very exciting aspect.
And that's part of what, in working with Michael over the years in various opportunities, his ability to keep everybody engaged, to honor everybody's commitment, and to make them feel like they're really an engaged part of it, and then they turn around and infuse their clients and guests and the people they deal with that same excitement, so that somebody doesn't think, oh, this is just, it's a nightmare, I don't know where I'm going or what I'm doing, and nobody there really wants to help me. In fact, this is exactly the opposite, where people are really, yeah, I want to find more about that, and I see people around the table who come literally from Alpine County or the West Slope of El Dorado or from Douglas County or from here on the South Shore, all feeling like they're part of something that is good now and has a great potential for growth.
You've picked up on something that's particularly important to me personally in my professional work and in my collaborative work, and that is the systems that we create need to be sophisticated, and they need to be effective, and they need to be well designed, and so on. But we're dealing with fairly simple issues. So, for example, in the past, our old system, our more traditional system, said, when an adult is ready, we'll provide a service. So if you show up and you enroll and you take courses, you can advance in the direction of your own educational goals and career. But no one's going to look out for you. Nobody's going to monitor if you didn't show up.
Right.
And nobody's going to particularly guide you along the way. I think we're changing that. So we're offering a system of support that says, once we know who you are and once we're connected to you, someone will check in with you. Someone will assist you in navigating these important career steps. I think the second opportunity there is to make sure that individuals do not fail to take advantage of the power of education to advance their lives because they believe that they have failed in other attempts.
Right.
So this is really the transformative piece of this. We like to give it fancy words like it's career pathways and advance and so on, but it's really about helping people overcome the stigma associated with sort of starting and stopping, not advancing, not moving forward. We're trying to make it easy for people to connect to their own aspirations. I think that's really what we're trying to do here. So.
Well, Frank touched on the employer part of this, and that's a significant piece of all of this. And we're going to come back and talk a little bit more about some of the details of some of the programs that are being offered, and building on what Michael said about how this is really a way that you can move forward and somebody cares and gets you to care about yourself. So we'll be right back after this short break.
The regional report receives support from the Gill Professional Building, Lake Tahoe's most professional business location, 218 Elks Point Road, Round Hill, Zephyr Cove, Nevada. Professional office suites now available. Get information at 775-588-2488 or on the web at gillprofessionalbuilding.com.
And we are back with Michael Ward and Frank Gerdeman talking about the Advance program at Lake Tahoe Community College. Another key concept is that there's services being offered now in our community at the college that haven't been offered before, and the college is also not the only place that you can go to get services. So it's a hub, but there's many other aspects throughout the region that are part of this whole initiative. And I know recently, Frank, you celebrated the first person who was able to get their high school equivalency without having to drive off the hill. And that's big.
That is big. Historically, someone who was working on their high school equivalency, or what most folks have commonly referred to as the GED, which is a brand, would have to drive to Carson City or Placerville to take the test. Last summer, we started administering the test at the college campus, and then this fall, we began pushing testing access into the community. And we've really, this is probably a great time to talk about the hub approach. We really wanted to push out to the traditionally underserved portions of the community, the portions that the college has struggled to reach. So the Hispanic Latino community, sort of the underskilled and the unemployed and the underemployed as well. Also adults with disabilities. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in our industry section perhaps. But we've started offering the test in Spanish as well as English, and once a month at the college and once a month at the Family Resource Center. So the Family Resource Center really has sort of become the first significant hub for us in terms of services. The college has historically had English as a second language courses there. We've added testing and are going to add some additional supports over the coming months. And then we'll look to push into the library, which is really growing in terms of the services it provides the community, and then a few others as well.
Is there a relationship with the high school that's part of?
The high school is a key member of the consortium, along with the El Dorado County Office of Ed and Alpine County Office of Education. Really